The power utility Eskom is downgrading rolling blackouts to stage 4 from tomorrow. The power utility says that the course of the week, 14 generators should return to service, helping to ease pressure on the power grid. Meanwhile, Eskom has postponed its media briefing scheduled for this afternoon. The power utility says that it has emergency engagements with President Cyril Ramaphosa, who earlier cancelled his trip to the World Economic Forum in Davos in Switzerland. Well, a number of law firms representing some politicians, trade unions, farmers, businesses and civil society organizations have written a letter to the Eskom CEO, Ruyter, and the Minister of Public Enterprises, Pravin Gordhan. The letter is demanding that the supply of electricity be stabilised forthwith, as Eskom, being an organ of state, is in breach of its constitutional duties. Among those represented include Bantu Holomisa, President of the UDM, Mmusi Maimane, founder of Build One South Africa, the Inkatha Freedom Party, the Trade Union Federation, NUMSA. And to tell us a little bit more about this letter and its demands, I'm now joined by one of the representing attorneys, Sipile Buthelezi from Buthelezi Vilakazi Inc. Thank you very much indeed for joining us and welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Peter, for inviting us, and greeting to the viewers at home.
Well, those viewers at home, those that are lucky to be watching, because the lights probably are off in a good number of homes, they are tired, they're exhausted with stage 6, and some of your clients too. Is this why, as a group of attorneys, you've come together in this way?
That is true, Peter. We have been approached by various clients from all 9 provinces to assist and really make our government or the state accountable and transparent as to what is really happening in relation to power generation in this country.
All right. So tell us a little bit about your objectives. What does this letter say?
Basically, we have outlined. Firstly, we do state that the state has a constitutional obligation for power generation, transmission, and delivery in this country. And we also outline the rights that have been violated by the state in its failure to meet its obligation, its constitutional obligation. We then also outline the demands that have been put forward by our clients who have instructed us to write a letter of demand. For example, we demand that the clients have demanded that be transparency and accountability from the state, setting out exact and clear plan as to how it is going to stop load shedding. At this present moment, we're instructed by our clients that the state has not been forthcoming as to the steps that it is taking to ensure that load shedding stops with immediate effect, and also be transparent as to what is it that will be done in future to ensure that no load shedding takes place and that they don't lose businesses. We know that some of our clients have permanently closed their businesses. Some of our clients have lost jobs. Some of our clients represent groups from different walks of life who have been affected, severely affected by load shedding.
I mentioned a number of those clients at the beginning, but it seems that a whole cross-section. NUMSA, for example, what are they concerned about?
For example, NUMSA has raised quite a number of critical issues that the government or the state is not clear as to what is it that it wants to do with coal mines in this country. There is no clear plan as to whether or not the government or the state intends to continue with power generation by using coal plants. And obviously, NUMSA, being a trade union, is concerned about the loss of jobs if those coal mines are closed. So it demands that government be transparent as to what is it that it wants to do with those coal mines. It must also be noted that number of clients have also raised that it has been out there in the media that South Africa, for example, has received over $8 billion in terms of loans, as it was outlined by the US President, in order for South Africa to shift from the usage of coal for power generation. Now, obviously, it has been out there that a number of power stations have not been functioning. Number of coal mines are closing. But what is noted is that the increase of export in terms of our coal has gone up to 700%. If you drive down in N2, you'll note a number of trucks exporting our coal via Richards Bay. So those are the concerns that have been put forward by NUMSA, mainly centered around loss of jobs if we move away from coal as a source for our energy.
All right. One of the demands in your letter that there shall be no load shedding without procedural fairness and fair opportunity to make alternative arrangements to affected persons and businesses. These things happen quickly. A power station blows out. Where do they get time to start trying to go through procedural fairness? And if they don't load shed, the whole system will collapse. Are you not asking for the impossible here?
I don't think our clients are asking for impossible, Peter, because unfortunately, it is the state that is not transparent as to how it intends to stop load shedding. So where you have a situation where the state itself is not transparent as to how it's going to immediately stop load shedding, then obviously businesses, the general public will be left in the dark. And unfortunately, that's where then the issues of fairness and how is this load shedding been implemented. There have been reports previously that some of the areas or suburbs where some leaders reside do not get shedded. So those are the issues that really then will cause the general public to say, is there fairness when this load shedding is implemented in the country?
All right. So if they are unable to or refuse to meet your demands, what next? Is litigation then the next step?
In fact, one of the issues that we have raised is that government or the state has up until this Friday, the 20th, to respond. Failure to respond, then our instructions from the clients are to proceed with litigation. We are hoping that we will not get to litigation, but we will receive a response, and we will also receive an undertaking to immediately stop load shedding, alternatively to provide a clear plan as to how load shedding is going to be stopped. Another point that we have raised, Peter, is that of the 18.65% tariff increase that has been granted by NESA. What we are demanding is that the implementation of that increase be put on hold up until our case is determined by court, because it doesn't make sense that there's a tariff increase as if Eskom is currently able to fully generate energy. It's not business as usual. They are unable to provide that service. Our instructions is that the tariff increase must be put on hold up until the determination of this case.
You're also asking the state to compensate everyone who has suffered quantifiable financial losses due to load shedding. Where will that money come from? Are we running the risk of getting a court order that's unenforceable if you litigate?
I don't think that that's the case, or we don't know where the money will come from. I mean, I think the past 3 years have proven to us that government does have money to implement some of its policies. The reality is that there are businesses that have closed, Peter. Just 2 days ago in KZN, there is a family there whose house burnt down immediately after load shedding, after electricity came back. The house was on fire. And now the question is, who must compensate that particular family? And I think if the state has clear plan to stop load shedding, we will not be where we are. Or if the state was transparent to its citizen, we will not have clients requesting that they be compensated for the loss. The reality is that somebody has to account for what has happened in this country. Somebody has to account to the loss of jobs, loss of businesses, sometimes loss of lives, because also hospitals, some of the hospitals do not have generators, and there is a delay in terms of surgeries that need to take place. So somebody has to account, and the compensation that our clients are asking for, the state has to come to the party and compensate those individuals who can clearly prove that they have suffered loss.
All right. Unfortunately, we ran out of time, but very quickly, you've given them until the 20th of January to respond. Otherwise, you'll litigate. People will tell you that it's going to take years to fix the energy crisis. Does that not put you in a position where, even if they want to, they cannot comply with your demands?
The reality, Peter, is that about 18 months ago, we were advised that load shedding will be over. There are quite a few announcements that were made by government, various ministers or government leaders. So if they were able to make those commitments 18 months ago, I don't think that we are asking for impossible. As long as there is no clear plan given by the state, then it becomes very difficult for us to think on behalf of the state as to say that it is impossible for load shedding to stop in the next 2-3 years. I mean, the Minister of Energy a few days ago said that within 6 months, load shedding can be stopped. But that is just an announcement, or I'm not sure where he was talking, but the reality is that there is no clear plan before us as to whether or not that will take place or that will ever happen in the next 6 months or 12 months. So at this particular point, we are hoping that we will not have to litigate on behalf of the clients that have instructed us. We are hoping that we will get a response and we will be able to have a clear plan as to how load shedding will be stopped.
Mr. Buthelezi, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very, very much indeed.
Thank you very much, Peter, and the viewers at home, those who are able to watch.
Indeed. All right, that's attorney at law.